The movie begins by depicting the lives of Karen and Peter, who despite a stable and happy existence, are on the threshold of an important stage in their lives. Peter is an experienced astronaut preparing for an important space mission that will not only be a significant achievement in his career, but also a test for their relationship. As the launch draws near, Peter is completely immersed in his preparations. He spends long hours in simulator centers and labs where final equipment checks and tests are being performed. Karen, in turn, does her best to keep him mentally supportive and comfortable at home. The days before the launch are filled with tension and excitement. Peter and Karen spend every spare moment together, but despite this, they feel a growing distance between them. Peter is focused on his work, and his every action or word is a reminder of his upcoming flight. Karen tries to remain calm and maintain an atmosphere of stability, but she finds it increasingly difficult to cope with the fact that her husband is absorbed in his work and pays less and less attention to her feelings. A key moment in their relationship comes when Karen decides to talk openly with Peter about her feelings. In one evening conversation, she shares her feelings about how hard it is for her to cope with his absence and how she feels invisible in the background of his work. Peter, although he understands her feelings, explains that the mission requires total concentration and that this flight is the culmination of his entire career. He explains that it is his duty to ensure the mission is successful and that his focus on his job is temporary. Launch day approaches and Karen and Peter say goodbye at the launch site. This goodbye is filled with emotion, despite attempts to hide it. Karen watches the launch from the television screen and her pride in her husband is mixed with a feeling of deep emptiness. Peter goes into space and Karen stays at home, dealing with feelings of loneliness and lack of support. She tries to stay in touch with Peter, but their conversations become increasingly brief and detached as he becomes more focused on his tasks. During his time in space, Peter faces a variety of challenges. The astronaut team works on complex tasks, encountering technical malfunctions and unforeseen problems. Peter, despite his experience, finds himself faced with many challenges that require quick reactions and precision. While he struggles with challenges in orbit, Karen faces her own challenges on Earth. Karen must cope with domestic problems, financial difficulties, and managing a home. Her life becomes increasingly stressful and solitary as she must deal with issues that were previously shared with Peter. She feels that her life and her own ambitions remain in the background, while her main concerns center on supporting her husband. As time passes, Karen begins to seek solace and support from friends and family. She re-establishes old connections and finds support from people who understand her worries. Karen also decides to use this time to focus on her own development and hobbies. She attends courses, does volunteer work, and begins to realize her long-held dreams that had previously been put on hold. These changes are beginning to bring her satisfaction and self-esteem. At the same time, Peter continues to face difficulties in space. Equipment problems, technical failures, and unpredictable conditions require his highest level of concentration and professionalism. His job becomes increasingly difficult, and he begins to realize how much his absence is making Karen's life more difficult. Peter feels a deep sense of guilt that he can't be there to support her as much as he would like. When Peter returns home, a significant change occurs between him and Karen. They both realize that their relationship has changed and that an effort must be made to rebuild their bond. Peter and Karen begin to openly discuss their feelings and experiences. They are faced with the fact that their lives have been severely challenged and they must find a way to adapt to their new circumstances. This becomes a time for them to rethink and rebuild their relationship. Karen and Peter begin to work on their mutual understanding and rebuild their relationship. They openly discuss their experiences and emotions, which helps them to better understand each other and find common ground. Gradually, through communication and working together on their relationship, they begin to reconnect and work to bring harmony back into their lives. The movie ends with Karen and Peter beginning a new phase in their relationship. They realize that in order to maintain their connection, they need to work on themselves and their relationship. Their love and support for each other becomes the foundation for building a future, and they begin to look at their relationship from a new perspective, full of hope and optimism.